Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Honest Concepts podcast. My name is Sensei Bronson Long. I'm always with my instructor, Master Autry. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Good.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Sir, I've been your martial arts student for almost 13 years now.
Yes, sir.
Going for quite some time.
It has.
Yes, sir. It sure has. And luckily, over the years, we've been able to do so much more than martial arts. We've been able to try coffee together on camera.
That was fun, actually.
That was a lot of fun.
That, yeah.
Me too. Yeah, that was really, really fun. And we get to do this podcast every Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern.
Right.
What's so cool about this, sir, is that we get to give our thoughts and our experiences on so much more than just martial arts,
Right.
but more importantly, our walk through life.
Yes, sir.
And it's funny how so much of that kind of reflects, right? You know, the things that you do really becomes a part of your personality, brings it out into the real world.
Absolutely.
So every week we get to do a different topic.
Right.
You know, one week is my turn, one week is your turn. Well, this week was my turn. And I came up with the idea of talking about time to take a break.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, this is something that I have struggled with most of my life, is taking a break. And I thought about it actually when I was walking through Lowe's just the other day, believe it or not. I don't even know if it was quite August yet. It may have been right at August. I don't know, August 1st. But I was walking into Lowe's hardware store. And when I got in there, the first thing I see is like this humongous Halloween decoration. The thing is ginormous.
Right.
And I'm looking at it, and my first thought was, it's not even September. What are we doing with Halloween decorations up? And then I thought about it. At first, I thought about it from like, if I was Lowe's, why would I put this up in August instead of September, October? And it hit me, well, naturally, of course, you know, if I put it up in October and this big old decoration costs $700, you're only giving people 30 days to save up $700. But if I put it up in August, people walk in for a couple weeks, the more they look at it, the more they're like, you know what, I'm going to get that thing. And you still give them a month and a half to save up for it.
They're beating you.
Yeah, exactly. So when I first thought about it, I was like, okay, that's kind of a marketing scheme.
Right.
But then I really started to think about it, you know, and it kind of dawned on me, because I was thinking to myself, that would never work on me. I'm too smart for marketing, right?
I'll do it too.
Yeah, exactly. So I started to think about it, and I was like, you know, maybe I'm looking at this too cold. Maybe I'm not looking at this the right way. And perhaps this is more than just money. It's more, and of course, money and marketing's behind it.
Sure.
But, you know, when you have something exciting coming up, you kind of build it up.
Sure.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's, I don't know, the Super Bowl or an election or whatever. It's a big event. We spend a couple weeks hyping it up, talking about it. Man, you going to be there? Yeah, I'm going to be there. What are you bringing? I'm bringing potato chips. Or, you know, we get to hype it up and really enjoy it. And as I'm walking through Lowe's, I think about this, and it starts to dawn on me that, you know, there's 365 days out of the year. How many of those days out of the year do we actually enjoy a holiday? And not a lot, really. It's not a whole lot. And so who am I to look at a little decoration sitting up there and start, you know, thinking bad and talking bad about it, when to someone else, that's their joy. They can't wait for their kid to come home from school one day and see this big old decoration in the yard, and they're going to have a great time and enjoy the holidays together, because they only get a few of them every year. We're so busy all the time. And I'm sitting there, at first what I viewed as just a cheap money scheme.
Right.
I changed my perspective and was looking at it like, you know, that's an opportunity for somebody to really enjoy their break with their family.
Right.
And I think that taking breaks is probably one of the healthiest things that a human can do. Taking a well-deserved, well-earned break.
Okay, my take.
All right.
When I grew up, I think people my age or even a little bit younger than me, just a little bit, we were born and raised to work every day, work like dogs, just go in there and get it done. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You don't take a break. And me and Ms. Autry talking about that today. I mean, we didn't close our school down at all in the summertime. We took about 6 days off during Christmas time, but that was it.
Right.
All year long. we were working, 51 weeks. We never took any breaks. I was always at the school.
Right.
And if I look back at it again, I would take some time off in the summer. I really would, because you need it. When you're young, you feel like I don't need that break. But we truly now look back, it would have helped me a lot. It would save injuries on my part or whatever. But a break's important. But when you're young and you were born and raised that way, don't take a break. It's kind of bred into you. Kids nowadays, I'm going to say some of them, I won't say all of them, but kids nowadays, they say, well, I'm not going to work past 30 hours. Last week I worked 42 hours. I'm going to take a day or two off. Honestly, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I do, because they get to rejuice themselves, if you will,
Right.
because it's hard.
It is.
You've worked 2 or 3 jobs before, and I have too, and I've worked a lot of hours, but I do look back and think, I should have taken a break. I'd have felt better.
Absolutely.
I probably made better decisions too.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Now we're really talking. What's funny about that is that I would say 90% of the time, I willfully take the advice that you and Mrs. Autry give me.
Well,
And you guys had told me maybe 2 or 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, that I need to slow down. And I didn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
I worked, and I'm no competition with anybody. We all work hard for what we got.
Right.
But I was working my fingers to the bone.
I know.
Just nonstop working. And I put in about 3.5 years. So much so I broke my company's records, and then I broke them again. And just set really high records for the company that I work for. I had a goal in mind. And I was raised in a way that, you work and work and work. You don't eat until you've sweat. That was my mama's rule. And that was the thing in our household, is that eventually we got to a place that if you didn't do your work, you're not going to eat dinner yet. Right. And so it taught us the value of getting your work done.
Sure.
Taking pride in your work, because what you earned, you got through working.
Right.
Well, I earned, and I did good. Real good. I hit every goal that I had. I'm still tired from that. I still have not recovered from those 3 years of just nonstop going. And I really, really wish truly that I would have listened to you and Miss Autry when you guys told me slow down a little bit.
Yeah. That was some experience, because we didn't.
Yes, sir. Right.
Really.
Yes, sir.
So many times I went home from school, or somebody would come to me with a problem. A parent would come to me with a problem, and I was like, I just so fogged up in my mind. I was like, I don't know how to answer that.
Right.
So I just had to relax a little bit and take, a couple hours off, and just kind of get my mind clear, because you can't put so much stuff in your mind.
Yeah.
I can't.
Right. Well, in some ways, though, I mean, in your case, you and Mrs. Autry, if you guys didn't run the martial arts school, who was? It was all on you guys.
Right.
In my case, if I took a break, my company's not going to hurt for nothing. Now if I took off 6 months, it's a different story.
Right.
But if I take a weekend off or a week off or something, my company's not really going to suffer.
Sure.
But for you guys with the martial arts, that's a whole other thing. When it's all on you and it's all in your hands,
And the
it's
pressure's
scary.
there because it took you so many years to build it.
Ooh, right.
I mean, it took years and years to build it where it got to.
Right.
And I was like, if I take 2 weeks off summertime, I'm going to lose 30, 40 students.
Right.
I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, take 15 years to build something and lose it in 2 weeks.
Right.
No way, Jose. Yeah.
So that's a lot of pressure on you.
It sure is, right. It sure is. Well, I've always honored and respected that. Truly, I have. Because I remember when you were first starting to teach me more than just martial arts, but owning a business and how to be an instructor, and you were telling me, don't be late to your own classes, don't miss your own classes, and don't take too much time off, because you will regret it. You know. There's no one here to teach if you aren't.
Right.
who else is going to do it? So, but taking breaks is something that I think it's starting to become more of a cultural norm, that the younger guys, and when I say younger, I really mean my age and younger,
Right.
is they're looking at it and going, look, if I've got to work bare minimum, which it is the minimum, 40 hours a week for the next 50 years of my life, every once in a while, once a year, maybe twice a year, I'm going to do something. Even if I don't work or go on vacation, I'll just sit at the house for a little bit.
Exactly.
And just take my time. I'm going to go get my oil changed and pressure wash the house or whatever, and just get some of those, backlog things
Sure.
taken care of. That little nick on the wall that I look
You
at.
know, you might build a business and you might be number one in your company, but when you get older, you look back and say, you know what? I really missed a lot of time. I could have went to the beach, could have went to the mountains more. Could have spent more time with my family. And that's hard. And that's a hard balance. But everybody has a different kind of balance in their life. Some people want to do it. Some people don't want to do it. Some people are hard driven. Now, there's some people that take too many breaks.
Yes. Now that's the truth.
I can name 30 people around
Me
there right
too.
now. They just, I don't think I'm going to go to work today.
Right.
What? Why? I just don't feel like it.
Right.
Well, that's not a break.
Right.
That's laziness.
Yes, exactly.
There's a difference.
Right.
What's the reason for taking a break? Your break, or are we taking a break?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you're very right.
There's another reason to take that break.
You're very right, and it seems to go both ways. This may be getting kind of deep. I don't know, but this is just to my own observations in my short 28 years of life. In my personal experience right now, it's hard for me to get myself re-motivated because I spent so much time. It's almost like, don't get me wrong, I'm not depressed. I'm not motivated.
No, right.
But, I feel like I burnt the candle so much, there's no more wick left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just some wax, but I just have nothing else to burn in there. I put my all into it, you know? And then you have other people, it seems like they've taken breaks for so long, they can't figure out how to get motivated themselves.
Right.
You kind of ran into this opposite symptom, but with the same issue behind it. And I don't know what's the right way on this path, truly. I don't know if anybody does, but
I think it affects everybody a little different. Naturally it does. But, I, like I say, teaching martial arts so many years, but I took a year off.
right, I knew
I
that.
told you that. I just got burnt out. I mean, I was working out 8, 9, 10, 11 hours a day. My body was tired. I had quite a few broken bones through the years. I was just wore out. So I took a year off, and I really wanted to think about, I had a couple of part-time jobs. Do I want to keep doing this or go another direction? I even thought about going to chef school.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I sure did. I talked about it.
That's very you.
Really thought about going to chef school. And I was like, yeah. But the more I got some rest and understood my mind a little bit more, the more I missed the martial arts.
Right.
And that's what I did. That's just all I knew.
Right.
So I started going back after about, I guess, like 9 or 10 months, I think, Ms. Archer, wasn't it? Probably. But anyway, I went back and opened up another school, and it just went good.
Wow.
But I needed that 9 months off. I mean, people say 9 months, but I was putting in just tons and tons of hours.
Right. That's a lot there. It can definitely be that way. I heard a guy mention one day, talking about getting in this boiling zone. And what he meant by it is that, you have this state where you are doing well, but your pot isn't boiling over.
Right.
You're not making a mess, but you're on fire. You're moving. You're boiling and doing good. And it seemed like this whole talk was going to be about, get off your lazy butt and do something, right?
Right.
And which, hoorah, I'm good for that, right? I can do that. But then he ended off the talk by saying, a watch pot never boils. And I thought that was just the coolest line to end that with. Because if you are, and I'm a living example of this, if you sit there and just stare at that pot and you're trying to get in that boiling zone, it'll just never work. Sometimes you have to walk away, take a little break, reset, and get things done. You taught me a cut with the sword one day, and I was just like, I was so frustrated. I could not get this thing right. I stayed up late trying to work on this cut, and eventually I was like, I have to go to bed. Well, the next day, I woke up and I picked the sword back up, and it felt so much better the next day. Sometimes we just have to take a step back for a second.
Overthinking, you're tired. It makes it worse.
It does. It made it way worse. By the time I went to bed, I was so frustrated. It's like, I guess I'm just bad.
I think I'm going to go to chef school.
I woke up the next day, picked it up. It wasn't perfect, but it was much better. And sometimes just stepping away from things, giving that pot some time to boil. You sit there and stare at it. It just will never get to that state. So
Wow.
It was pretty cool. Miss Jenny Easter, good to see you. Mr. Pool Mike, so good to see you.
Guys, how you doing?
Miss Connor says she's making chili since it's been raining for 5 years. That's good. Miss Jenny
Be
says.
there in an hour.
Yeah. Miss Jenny says that she had some chili on Sunday. Everyone needs a reset. Stepping away from your everyday is better not only for you but for everyone around you. Wow. Yeah, you're right. Everyone needs a reset. Stepping away from your everyday is better not only for you but for everyone around you.
That's good.
It really is.
Who said that?
Miss Jenny.
Yeah, very good, Miss Jenny.
Yeah, very true.
Good, yeah.
It's like that. Everyone around you feeds off of that.
Sure.
And God bless my lady Connor. I know that she just got tired of hearing me talk because during that 3-year period when I was working, we went to Asheville for, I think we were there for about 8 hours one day. That was our vacation. So we went Friday morning. We saw the mountains. We ate some food. We packed it up and went home.
Right. Hurry, let's have a good time.
Yeah. Well said. Very well said. Yes, sir. That's exactly what that was like. Hurry, let's have a good time. And, but she didn't know. I mean, I was saving up for all sorts of things,
Right.
Engagement rings and all
Right.
sorts of stuff, I was knocking out my goals. I was trying to get them done. But she stood there. But it is very tense when you got somebody like that around you who's just, there's no time for breaks. There's no time for fun. You're just trying to do your thing. It is hard, yeah. And so Miss Jenny's right. When you take a break and relax a little bit, everyone else around you can kind of relax in your presence too. So that's a good point. Mr. Pool Mike says, stop thinking about yourself. Wives never get a break. If you have children, Connor told me to say that. That's hilarious. He said, not really. My wife said that. That is
There's
so
always one
funny.
in the crowd.
There's always one. That is so funny. Yeah. Well, I can tell you that,
Poor Mike.
yeah. Tonight's spotlight, we were going to do Kit Kats, right? Because
That's
Kit
what you
Kats,
said.
yeah, they've got the slogan, give me a break in the Kit Kat bar. And I was like, well, this is perfect. I've got a great idea. The problem is, I thought that there was more than just chocolate flavored Kit Kats available in our area. I worked in a grocery store for 7 years, I know I've seen more than just chocolate. I know I've seen white chocolate and other things. Well, it turns out that in Japan, they have got dozens of flavors.
Right.
I mean, they've got like flan flavored and
Yeah,
just
Dr. Pepper flavor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's cherry, there's lemon lime. There's also
Right.
some crazy Kit Kat
Right.
flavors. To the point where I was like, I'm going to order some of those just for fun, just to see what they taste like. But tonight we were going to do that, but when Miss Connor went to the store to check, she was like, all they've got's chocolate. So I was like, well, there's no point in doing that. We all know what Kit Kat tastes like. WJJ, hello. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day so far.
Mr. Wayne.
Mr. Wayne, good to see you, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Yeah, but this if you had somebody in front of you who was asking you, how often is it safe for me to take a break? Where do I find this balance of I need to work, I need to do a good job. How often should I break? What do you think your answer to that would be?
Well, first of all, I'll probably say, is it mental or physical? Physical doesn't take as long.
Right.
Mental, to me, takes a little bit longer.
Wow.
Because you get burned out up here. Your body still wants to go, but sometimes you get burned out up in the brain or the head. And to me, that's a little harder. Physical, you can rest a couple of days.
Yeah.
It seems like. But sometimes you have stuff on your mind because we don't know how to let go.
Right.
I was the world's worst. All I did was martial arts 24/7, 7 days a week. Come home from working out for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. Such an instructor. In fact, you remind me a lot of him, or he reminds me a lot of you. But anyway, he was like 21. We'd go to the apartment we lived in. He was always cook us a dinner, and we'd go in the backyard, stay there till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I mean, literally.
Wow.
We were just working on techniques. And my body just got tired.
I bet.
But I wanted to do that. It's just like these guys that go to these mills or these hard jobs, their body is just wore out.
Absolutely.
The body can actually recover if they're not hurt, probably a week or two, a few days. But sometimes it's that mind. You're just so fried up here, you can't think straight.
Right.
And that wears your body out on top. So that's two things.
That's a
I would
great
think
answer.
of, yeah.
That's a great answer. I'd like to take it even a little deeper.
All right.
Is this is kind of what you said there is something that I would love to know the answer to. When you said it takes longer for the mind because we don't know how to just let go. When I think of let go, my first thought is not, I asked myself as soon as you said that, how do I let go of things? And I thought to myself, what do I normally do if I'm not working and I'm not sleeping or eating? What do I normally do? And I was like, well, I'm on YouTube. I'm watching YouTube videos. That's normally what I'm doing. And as soon as I thought that, I said, well, that's not really letting go. That's not good. That's more of a distraction. So, and
actually it's probably building up
it's
more
probably
stuff.
making it worse. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably 100% right. So how do you let go?
Me personally?
Sure, yeah. Or advice to anybody.
I take that little lady right there, Ms. Autry.
Okay.
And we'll go to the beach for a day. You know, no phones, no anything. We just go out to eat and have a good time. Or we'll get in the golf cart right around the neighborhood and just relax. I mean, we've actually, even here in this neighborhood, made sandwiches and go down by the swimming pool and sit down and put in the shade tree in the golf cart and eat a sandwich.
That's nice.
That's letting go.
Right.
You know, it's just different, I guess, different ways of doing it.
Sure.
You know, it's hard to tell you how I would do it for you or anybody else. That's how I do it.
Right.
But that's it. It's the simple things because that's what we get away from. We don't get away from the big things most of the time. We get away from the simple things that make us happy. Spending time in Ms. Autry makes me happy.
Wow.
You know, so that's what I would do, me personally, just like you will, Miss Connor.
Sure.
You know, if you're really having a hard time, a hard day, you get a babysitter for your little baby, and you and her just go have a nice dinner. Go to a movie or just ride around, talk for 2 or 3 hours. You're like, wow, I needed that. It's the simple things.
Right.
It always comes back to that for me.
Sure.
Wow. I don't know if that answers your question.
It does, yeah. And then so I think some of the highlights of what you said there was having fun, sharing it with other people, and getting away from the little things. Because I think that's where I struggle more than anything else. And I'm sure everyone else has something similar they struggle with more than likely, is that when I do try to get away, I'm still thinking about things I probably shouldn't be thinking about. Okay, well, when I get back on Sunday, I'm going to have to get this laundry done and get ready for work on this and get my timing set out. And it usually, if I take some type of vacation, which is kind of rare that I do, but if I do, it takes me a day or two before I finally start to kind of forget, you know what I mean, and really start to get away.
Sure.
So that must be that mental thing that you're talking about, that it just takes a minute to let that stuff go.
It's hard. I mean,
It is hard. It is hard.
Like I said, everybody handles it different.
Right.
Everybody might have different opinions out there, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I watched the other day, I don't know, it was on YouTube, but I watched the other day, this man and woman been married for like 7, 8 years. And they were talking about why they're getting a divorce.
Oh.
And he said, well, we don't do the fun things anymore. And we don't do the simple things. That's what he was talking about. He said they just grew apart. And that's what happens. You know, even in your business, if you don't do the simple things that you enjoy, if you just do things you don't enjoy, you're going to grow apart from that, just like you would your marriage or your kids or friends and neighbors. Or, you know, it's easy to grow apart. It's just the little things. You know, I'm a believer in that. You know, my dad taught that to me years ago.
That's beautiful.
It's the little things in life.
And that makes a lot of sense. I think that's something that most marriages I've heard of that end up splitting, or even some of them that stay together at some point in time, say that, like, we had kids, we got really, really busy, and then 22, 24 years later, the kids moved out. I turn around and I'm living with this person. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
You know, we spent 22 years just hustling and grinding, no breaks.
Right.
And when we turn around, we don't even know who this person is we're living with. We got to rediscover them all over again. And that's sad, isn't it? I mean, I think a lot of people look at that and go, I don't want that to happen to me.
Right.
You know, I don't want to get to a certain place and look back and go, what did I do? Where did the time go? But it seems like that's something that is almost inevitable in some way.
Sure it is.
Like nobody's perfected it.
Right.
You know, maybe some people do it better than others. Maybe some have less regrets than others. But it seems like you get to the end, you always look back and think, I coulda, shoulda, woulda type of thing, you know?
People say I have no regrets. I regret a lot of things.
Sure,
You know, when I was young. Things I wish I hadn't done, things I wish I should have done better.
Right.
You know, but it's just the way it is.
Right.
This morning, Miss Autry, we got up and next we took our showers and stuff. It was about 9:30. She said, what do you want to do, Dad? I said, I don't know. Just let's get in the car. So we got in the car, rode around for an hour, went and got an early lunch. We sat there, had a great time, came back and made a cup of coffee and just relaxed. It was just something out of the ordinary. We just don't, usually do that
Right.
early in the morning. Usually it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. But we just took off at 9:30. When we got in the car, had a good time.
I love
Put a
that.
little music on, and we just rode around, talked.
that.
Actually, talked about you. We talked about your baby and stuff. And we were just talking about the house that we live in. And just how fortunate we are. And we rode around for about an hour. Then we got something to eat. It was nice.
That is
very
cool.
enjoyable. I was so relaxed when I got back. I took a nap. True story.
That is so cool. My mom started taking me to your classes when I was like 4-ish, 5-ish, somewhere around there. And so my mom's known you guys forever, right?
Right.
And
How's she doing? Good.
yeah, she's
Good.
doing real good. Thank you. She had said something about you, I guess maybe less than a year ago, because I brought you up and talking about you guys and Miss Ultra and everything. That was good. And she said, and she said, I'm proud of you. I'm glad you had a mentor in your life and stuff like that. She said, one thing I always liked about him was that if you went out to dinner with him, he could just be eating a hot dog and he would have you convinced that it was the greatest hot dog in the world. And when she said that, I started laughing. I was like, that was probably one of the greatest influences that man has on me, is I was always shocked by how he found so much joy and gratitude in literally anything we did. I mean, just a simple milkshake from Hardee's,
Right.
and you just appreciate that stuff.
Because one day you're not going to have it.
You're right.
One day you're not going to have it.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you right now. One day you won't have that.
Yes, sir. Exactly right. And that's the type of stuff that has really bled into my life. And so when it comes to these type of situations, listening to talk about breaks or work or stuff like that, I really listen to what you have to say on it, because I know that it's not coming from a place where you're bitter or sour.
Right.
I know that you're grateful for all these things that you have, especially your time.
Yeah.
And so I was really interested to hear what you had to say about this concept,
Yeah.
when to take a break and time for a break. So I thank you.
Yeah,
That was
yes,
really,
sir.
really
That
fun.
was cool.
Yes, sir. We'll go back and catch up on this a little bit. You guys have been some chatty Cathys up here. I missed you guys a little bit. Miss Jenny Easter says, there is. They have a birthday cake, one that is great. Okay, you guys are talking. I have no idea what that was. Reese's has a candy called Fast Break. Very good. Oh, okay. I think I've had the Fast Break. I think they are really good. One of my favorite candies, Connor calls me an old person for liking it. I like 100 grand. You ever had the 100 grand bars?
I have.
She calls me old. I think they're good. I don't think it's an old person candy. Connor says, get the laundry done. Since when? To me, Ms. Jenny Easter says, to me, mental is the hardest thing to break from.
It is.
I can never turn my brain off and would love to find a way to make that happen so I can have my own reset. Reset's a good word for that. I don't know. I mean, what do I know? I wish we all could. I think we all wish we could just kind of hit a switch and just be good to go. I think most of us want to do good.
Yeah.
I think most of us want to be a good employee, a good citizen, a good neighbor,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. It's just how do we do that?
If you don't reset, like she's talking about, which is a great way to put it, if you don't reset your mind and stuff, you become like robots. Every day's the same. You just go in here, do this,
You're
do this,
right.
this. You reset your mind and start looking at things different.
You're right.
And that's how I feel about
You're
it.
right. And I've fallen into that robot mode before.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy.
Yeah, it is
It's
easy to
easy.
do. It is. Mr. Pool Mike says, the older you get, the faster the time goes by. Yeah, and it seems that way too. I can't believe my daughter's almost 9 months old. It's just
I know.
weird. It's just so strange. I can't believe it. Miss Jenny says, preach. I didn't think that was a thing until I got older. Very cool. Mr. Pool Mike says, me old.
He's telling the truth. He is old.
Me old. He says, it's all in our mind until you can't touch your toes. That is so funny. You are only as old as you feel. Me, I am still in my early 30s. I hear that. That is so funny. Mr. WJJ says, coffee on Rich's patio at sunset. Sounds like he's made a date for you guys.
Who's that?
WJJ, was that Wilkie, I think his name was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I said Mr. Wayne.
Wayne, that's what it was, right? Mr. Wayne. That's cool.
Actually, I need to get in touch with you about next week, Mr. Wayne.
Cool.
Doing some dinners.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Well, guys, we're right on the dot at 8 o'clock. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
That was
that's
fun.
cool. That's
That was
good.
really
Different.
fun. I wish we could have some Kit Kats. Maybe I'll order some from Japan and we can just enjoy some
They have
different
an
types.
Oriental Market. Maybe I'll go down
Oh, do they
there.
really?
Mhm.
The one by the McDonald's in Stallings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, right behind it.
Oh, I'll go there then. That'll be much better than ordering them
We got-
from.
We got something coming
We
in.
need to have a two-way. The audience need to have a dialogue. Any chance of you guys taking calls in the future? Yeah, we certainly
Absolutely.
can. I know how to do that. That's not a hard thing to do, and we can certainly do that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it'll take me 15 minutes to get it set up one day.
Okay,
And then
we'll
one
do
day we
that.
can take in calls. Actually, that may be really fun to just do questions like that one day.
I would do that
Right.
too.
How do you guys take breaks?
Right.
How do you guys reset your
Oh, that'd
mind?
be cool.
That would be really
That'd be
cool.
great. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
That would be fun. Good ideas. You guys are full of good ideas. By the way, we see you. If you have sent us an email for topics or anything like that, I promise we are not ignoring you. We have kind of some things built up and planned up along the way.
Right.
So we're getting there.
Yeah.
We enjoy all the feedback
Right.
and all your ideas and things that you submit to us.
Anyway,
Sure. We just never overlook you.
guys, I see this all the time on YouTube. I don't want to be this person, but we're at 32 subscribers.
Right.
We get 50, we can go out on the road and do things. So if you know somebody, just how about ringing them up and tell them to subscribe here. Let's get to 50
Yeah.
so we can take this thing on the road.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
We've got lots of fun
Yeah.
things we want to do and
Felt like
plan.
a plug, but I guess it was. We got to get 50. We're at 32. So
Yeah.
if you get a couple of friends, just subscribe. Whether they watch it or not, just let them subscribe.
Absolutely.
And then we can take this thing on the road, go to
That'd be
different
perfect.
restaurants and stuff.
Perfect. Cool. Well, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will be back here again next Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.